Greetings. Welcome to Valuable Talks with Anna. It is so much going on in America right now. That's why it's important to sit down with our politicians to hear what they have to say. I am here with City Council member Tyler Williamson, and we will be having a brief Q&A. When you see issues like that of George Floyd, does it impact your work endeavors? In what ways do issues like this impact your work endeavors?
I mean, absolutely. You can't be a Black person in America and have what happened with George Floyd not impact you. But for me, how I respond is it inspires me. It pushes. I mean, I guess it's a mixed bag, right? Like part of it's like I feel uncomfortable even going outside, right? Because just because I'm Black, somebody doesn't know me, they're gonna judge me based off the color of my skin. So there's a fear part associated with it, but I really try to. I'm kind of like I get energy off of inspiration. So I kind of come up with all these ideas. I try to figure out solutions to some of the problems. And so, in regards to George Floyd, as I was speaking to the last question, I kind of identified, these set of issues as the things that I've been focusing on for the city of Monterey. But what happens now that with my experience of now being on the council is even though I have these things as my platform, the things that I want to focus on, there's all these other things that now that I'm elected and I'm helping to run the city that I'm responsible for. And so, now I have to, put a little bit more focus on what's going on with our police department and how can we make it better? And are there services that we can provide? Is even though I have these things as my platform, the things that I want to focus on, there's all these other things that now that I'm elected and I'm helping to run the city that I'm responsible for. And so, now I have to, put a little bit more focus on what's going on with our police department and how can we make it better? And are there services that we can provide that respond to the things that police normally respond to in a more peaceful way, right? And so one of the things that I was offering is that let's take a deep look at the types of calls that we receive through 911 for police officers. And let's determine out of all those calls, which ones do not actually need a police officer to show up with a gun, right? Can we send somebody that doesn't have a gun, that's a professional with, maybe helping to de-escalate situations and that doesn't create an environment where somebody shows up with a gun and might actually escalate the situation. So anyways, these are things that, I didn't come into city council thinking that I had to worry about running in the city of Monterey. But, this is the reality of the situation after the murder of George Floyd. And I'm completely proud to lead that effort within the city.
That is a great effort. Thank you so much. That is the reform that we need within the policing field in the first place. So thank you. What are your current issues with COVID-19 and the raising of restrictions?
Yeah, so COVID-19 is obviously a huge challenge. It's a completely unknown experience for everybody throughout the entire world. And so, I think part of it is really the need for us to be creative. And I really think that it's a wake-up call for the world, for the U.S., to make sure that we are institutionalizing systems that aren't so structured and robotic, but that can be nimble and flexible depending upon the environment in which is in front of us. And so, it kind of makes me think of what's happening here locally within the city. Everybody kind of just freezes up and they don't know what to do. We're a hospitality industry here. And so when COVID-19 hit us, all of a sudden, the economy stops and now the city is losing revenue up the wazoo. And, we're having to cut about 25% of our budget. And these are the things that are getting cut are, kind of connecting to the last question, police they had like are looking at an 8% cut. When we look at libraries, recreation department, and museums, they're getting upwards of 60% cuts. I mean, these are dramatic cuts. People are losing their jobs. And so these are the types of services that I see as very proactive, right,
Right.
and helping to give people an opportunity to not get themselves into a situation where then we have to execute a reactionary approach like calling
Right.
the police to respond to a situation, right? So I think that there's definitely a need to be more flexible and create systems and programs that are adaptable to the environment in which we live. So anyways, that's part of it. But then I think on the other side, I think we also need folks to, I think it's, I will never stop somebody from expressing their viewpoint or, participating publicly and sharing their views. I think that's important. It's needed. But I think it's also important for folks to keep in mind that we're all in this together.
Right.
And so when people freak out and think that, overreacting and overstressing on a situation is going to help us help what's going on. It doesn't, because everybody's trying to figure this out together. And I think
Right.
if we can all find a way of trying to stay cool, calm, and collected, I think it really helps us move things along. Now, something like George Floyd situation comes out, and then it's pretty hard to tell people to stay calm and
Right.
collected, right? Because people are just mad and upset. But I think just overall with the experience of COVID-19, I think people just need to make sure that we're in this together.
Right. Right.